Hello and welcome back to the channel. My name is Nick. This is You Don't Scare Me, a channel where we debunk ghost videos. And if you're into that, you should hit the subscribe button and like the video. If not, then I don't know why you're here. We're going to continue debunking the top 10 scary ghost videos that you have not seen before from Haunter. So let's get into it and see what we find.
What the fuck was that? Didn't you see that?
Something that I wish that the ghost compilation channels would start doing is tell us which video, not just the channel, but what particular video that this is from. Because if I could figure that out, I could go back and I could see whether they precariously placed something there or not. There's no context. Not enough, at least. Even the exposition that I cut out of this video doesn't really lead to more information. It's just two guys in a haunted house armed with just a flashlight and some cameras. Like, yeah, real descriptive. I don't know what video this is from. So far, it just looks like some shit that fell down by itself.
But before the investigator can react, a sudden loud and terrifying sound echoes through the house, the unmistakable noise of something heavy falling, tumbling violently down the stairs. The eerie crash is loud, unsettling, and seems to come from nowhere, as if something invisible has just hurled itself, or been thrown down the staircase. A man is...
I left this exposition in there so that you would understand that this clip abruptly ends, and we saw what had fallen. One of the things that I deign to do on this channel is to expose the paranormal compilation channels in addition to the paranormal videos themselves. In this particular case, the person who's uploading this video is Top 5 Ghosts. I don't think there is a human being involved in these videos anymore. I think that every single one of Top 5 Ghosts videos are fed into an AI that generates a description of what happened in the video, then generates a script, then he exports that to 11 Labs, that generates the voice, and then he just throws the clips together with the audio in the order that he thinks is correct. Which is why he doesn't seem to get it right all the time. I think you'll remember in a couple of videos ago, he posted a video where the description for the video was one off from the previous video, which means that he's not watching the video after he's done producing it. You know what I mean? He's just throwing it up and saying, they're going to watch anyways. I'm already rich and famous. I don't need to worry about anything.
A man is standing in a dark room, seemingly alone. But what happens next suggests that he might not be as alone as he thinks.
What? What the hell was that? I'm sorry, he sneezed and then a random board fell down on him. I need more context than that.
At first, everything seems normal. The man stands quietly, glancing.
You see, that's the thing. That's the thing right there. That little detail that he got wrong. Everything is seemingly normal, and he's standing? That guy was kneeling and sneezing his head off. There's nothing normal, standard, or calm about the scene from start to finish. You got every detail of it wrong, which means that Top 5 Ghosts is no longer watching the ghost videos that he puts in the compilation. He's automated ghost compilations. Most of the videos that I see on Top 5 Ghosts don't even have ghosts anymore. It makes me feel like from start to finish, there is no human interaction in this video, in his videos anymore. Let's check out Depths of Despair.
Dementia. On one night, a man named Nick is looking after his ill grandma when this happens. Nick mentions that his grandma has dementia, which in some cases can lead to visual or auditory hallucinations.
Never mind.
Seeing things that aren't actually there. However, as Nick watches her standing still, something chilling happens. Watch closely.
It's just a Roomba. You're freaking me out. What is it?
Okay, so what I saw was that you're utilizing your grandmother's new mental disorder, dementia is a disease, I think. Neurodegenerative disease. You're utilizing her dementia so that you can make a video. You're going to upload this, exposing your grandmother without her consent. And the Roomba is what's making the dog upset. Not the grandmother. The Roomba. Dogs don't like vacuums. Roombas either. Furthermore, the Roomba is already in the room doing its buh, and therefore there's a possibility that it might have destabilized a specific cabinet by bumping into it slightly. Yes, I know that Roombas are supposed to be able to avoid shit, but my experiences with other people's Roombas is they've destroyed my charging cables and bumped into my ankles. I don't see the reason why anybody would think that they're not capable of knocking something down. The dog doesn't like the Roomba. That's what I'm trying to get at.
Nick's grandma's dog starts growling while staring down the hallway as if it sees something there. Then all of a sudden, something falls down from on top of the fridge.
Yeah, again, did you notice how there wasn't a Roomba in the first portion of the clip, and then the second portion of the clip has a Roomba? The dog's hearing is better than ours. It can hear the Roomba. It knows the Roomba is a vacuum. Dogs don't like vacuums.
After Nick checks what fell down, it makes everything seem even creepier.
Alright. So this is in response to last night.
Wait, now he's going to pick up a random object that is much creepier than the one that actually fell down and try to tell us that that's what fell down, even though we have a generally clear shot that we can reference in the previous video to know that it seemed like it was most likely a Tupperware container.
My grandma loves to collect little figurines. One of my grandma's little angels fell off the fridge last night. You see how far back they are. Genuinely.
Okay, I concede that it may not have been a Tupperware container that fell. However, there's no evidence to support the idea that the little angel, ceramic angel, was actually far back on the back of the fridge. It could be that the grandmother might have placed it back on at a precarious angle You know, something just on the lip of the fridge. She does have dementia. And then as the motor turned on to refrigerate the air inside the refrigerator, the entire fridge shudders. And that could have been enough to have the angel cascade off the top of the fridge. How often do you hear your refrigerator kick on to keep the temperature inside the fridge? Mine doesn't have very good seals on it, so it does it quite a bit. And when it's done, it goes boom. And that is enough to jostle the things above the fridge. And if the things are being moved all the time, it's even more likely that somebody might lose something to gravity because of it. I've had boxes of cereal fall off the top of my fridge because of the motor turning off. Furthermore, it might have been on the side, might have cascaded down and bumped off the counter, or there's a multitude of other explanations before I would ever go to ghosts.
As Nick mentions, the statues are all lined up quite far back on the fridge. So just how did the angel suddenly fall off? Nick thinks there must be something sinister behind this, given the fact that an angel statue fell off out of everything there.
I don't believe in gods or God. I don't believe in spirituality. I don't believe in magic. I don't believe in supernatural in any capacity. I don't believe in ghosts. I don't believe that there is a soul in every single person. I don't believe that the weather is controlled by angry people. I don't believe in conspiracy theories. I don't believe anything unless it's backed by rigorous documents that seem reasonable. I don't just believe any scientific fact that's produced to me by any scientist, because scientists are human beings and human beings are fallible. All that said, I do believe in a less than corporeal or conscious idea of God. In my opinion, humanity's capacity to do good is what God is, not an entity. We experience being close to God by being as nice and polite to each other as we reasonably can. That's what I think God is. Not an entity, not a thing, not a being, not a conscious thing, just morality. I also don't believe in the devil. I don't believe in any of that bullshit. I don't believe that 3 a.m. is special in any way. The world is boring. Get fucking used to it. Also, the world is not flat. We did go to the moon. The Illuminati probably did exist at some point, but they're defunct now, just like the Freemasons. The world is boring. The government does want to control you in every possible capacity because they want to make sure that they can get as much money out of you as possible so that they can run their own stupid net zero agendas. I don't really have a dog in the race when it comes to climate change. I understand that the temperatures are changing and the world is changing, but there's a large portion of me that believes that it's just a natural heat death cycle of the universe, and we're just stuck in the point in time in which it seems to be rearing its ugly head the most. I think that there's a possibility that in about 11 years, everything is going to go back to normal. I do care about the environment, and I do understand that we do need to protect the environment, so I recycle. I try to drive as little as possible when I can. I am doing everything in my power to ensure that every object that I purchase is something that I can use for my entire life. I recycle. You know what I mean? I pick up garbage when I go outside. I do what every good 90s kid could do for the environment. So all of that is to say that I'm a very straight edge, straightforward, no nonsense person. And the thing that fell off the fucking fridge is a pile of clay that a human being formed into the shape of what is pleasantly looking like an angel to a human being. It has no religious significance outside of its visual imagery, which is incorrect if you look at the actual depictions of the Bible, the angels in the Bible. What you have in your hand is not an angel. What you have in your hand is an effigy. And I'm pretty sure you're not supposed to have those.
After watching the video, a viewer pointed out another strange detail that makes this all the more terrifying.
Alright, I wanted to show you guys something.
Ah, the Roomba. No, nice. See, that's the Roomba.
Honestly, I'm a bit in disbelief. But no, I'm pretty sure it's just a plug-in charger. I brought my girlfriend Claire here so she can help demonstrate. But can you try to step in front of that? Yeah. And so it just does that. Move away.
They're about to tell us that the Roomba was bumping into a ghost because it was acting strange in the first video. However, I raise you the idea that that's actually not a fucking Roomba, and it's probably an AliExpress piece of Chinese cheap manufactured garbage.
So that comment says that the Roomba doesn't do that unless someone's in front of it. It is kind of creepy with a smiley face and everything. Even when it gets to the edge, it does that.
The Roomba seems to repeat the same movement, going back and forward slightly, as if it were bumping into someone or something in front of it.
Roomba's maps do not update while the robot is cleaning. The Roomba believed that something was in that particular spot because when it was mapping the room last, something was standing there. I don't know, Space Case Grandma? The Roomba utilizes a smart map of the space to navigate and clean more efficiently. The robot learns the layout of your home during a mapping run and then uses that map for subsequent cleaning jobs. Do you remember that VR video where there was that hooded thing that she was shining the flashlight in the VR headset, the Oculus Quest or whatever, and she was seeing that there was something standing there? That's because when they were mapping the room, there was somebody standing there, and that person then left, and that map was saved. It doesn't map live. The Roomba doesn't map live, which means the Roomba was reacting to something that it believed was still there. It doesn't have eyes, and it's not conscious. It's a robot. Vacuum. Roomba.
Like the girl showed previously, Nick thinks the Roomba sensed something blocking its path. Since this happened, Nick has been scared of the kitchen.
Pussy. By the way, the Roomba doesn't have a sensor. It's not a LiDAR sensor or something like that. It's a bumper. The bumper has a momentary switch behind it, so every single time the bumper hits something, it presses the switch, and then it stops and backs up and turns slightly left or right. It doesn't actually know which direction is to freedom.
But the only TV in the house is this one, so he has to stay there to watch. On another night while alone watching TV, this happens.
So I was watching my show, and after last night, I'm definitely not leaving these lights off. But I was watching my show, and there's nothing there.
Wow, fantastic. Still not a ghost. So you know what's happening there is that the dogs heard something outside, like a pair of jingling keys as your neighbor goes into the house, and they're expecting somebody to come into this house. And so they're staring into the darkness, waiting for that to happen. Nothing more, nothing less. Dogs can't see ghosts.
This time, the creepy Roomba is not there, but the dogs are still behaving the same way, as if their eyes are fixed on something there, even though we can't see anything. Nick's granddad passed away a year ago and once told Nick that he thought he had seen his grandma standing in the kitchen with the lights off. But as he went closer, it turned out there was nobody there. But this could relate to what is currently going on. And it's the same reason that Nick is already scared of the kitchen. Shortly after the dog stared at the kitchen, he captures this.
All right, here we go.
Whoa. Whoa. Yo. Oh, that's cool. Jesus!
This motherfucker is afraid of a fucking Roomba. Give me a second, I'm gonna look up some stuff. Alright, so best I can say, I think I actually figured out what's going on. I think he was pulling the Roomba towards him with a string or something. It's the only thing that makes sense, because right at the end when it flips over, it's because somebody yanked up a string up, okay? I understand that that might not appease all the people, but it's the only thing that actually logically makes sense. I mean, what's more realistic, a haunted Roomba following you and then flipping? Or the more reasonable explanation is that you've got a string and you were pulling it towards you and the light was just on. It's going in a straight line, you pull the string, it moves. It continues in a straight line. Well, even though I wasn't able to debunk the videos to the quality that I expect of myself, I'm sure that you've learned something or enjoyed the video in some other capacity. So if you did, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and watch one of these two videos. I'll see you tomorrow. I love you. All right, bye.